Good morning, Minnesota DFLers, and welcome to the DFL Daily. Richard Carlbaum here, chair of the Minnesota Democratic Farmer Labor Party. Hope you're all doing well on this Thursday morning. Crisp Thursday morning is what I was going to say. I know it's cold. Before we get into the call, we have some upcoming events. First off, Apple Valley today, Rally for Our Rights, 4 p.m. In Sauk Rapids, there's a dinner with our neighbors at 6 p.m. In Llano Lakes, Senate District 32 DFL Happy Hour is going to be happening Saturday at 3 p.m. This Saturday at 3 p.m. in Llano Lakes. And then Golden Valley DFL Senate District 43 Spring Party this Saturday at 7 p.m. And then finally, the St. Paul DFL Senior Caucus Day on the Hill is next Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning. The DFL Senior Caucus is one of the fastest growing and active caucuses we have. And I'm just so proud of the work they do. They do a day on the Hill, and I'm excited to join them again next Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning to help kick off advocacy at the state capitol for seniors in the state of Minnesota. You can find all of this information and more on future events at dfl.org/events. And as always, drop yours into the chat, and we'll try and highlight them each and every morning here on the DFL Daily. All right, we're going to start today with a special announcement. I know that our team has a slide about this. The Humphrey Mondale is our annual dinner. It is going to be our 14th annual dinner this June 5th, 2026. We've set the date. Our special guest keynote speaker is Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Andy Beshear is a bold progressive leader in the state of Kentucky. It's a red state, but he has proven himself the ability to get not just elected, but reelected. We're thrilled that Governor Beshear, who is the leader of the National Governors Association, is coming to Minnesota on June 5th. That's a Friday evening. I really hope you can join us. In the coming weeks, we're going to be debuting and announcing our award winners for the Humphrey Award, the Mondale Award, the Grow Award. We're going to have a new award that we'll be unveiling. So I really hope you can join us June 5th. You can go to humphreymondaledinner.com to reserve your own table. We have tables at all variety of levels, from general admission all the way up to our diamond sponsor. I really hope you can join us on June 5th. Again, we used to have two annual galas that cost a lot of money. We only have one now. Our Humphrey Mondale dinner is the only annual gala the DFL has. Our other event now in the fall is called the Farmer Labor Picnic. It's a $25 per person ticket that gets you the meal and gets you a lot of fun in terms of live music, speakers, and a bunch of activities that we'll provide. We'll be doing that again this fall in September. And so I encourage you to make that a one-time investment in our annual dinner on June 5th. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all in person on June 5th at the Humphrey Mondale 14th Annual Dinner. Okay, let's get into it today. Obviously, this week we've been talking about the reason behind the increasing costs on families. These are not happenstance. These are because people have made choices, a lot of political choices about who to favor and who to stick with the bill. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the impact when Trump signed the big, beautiful betrayal into law. And it's anything but beautiful for Minnesotans. It is absolutely a betrayal. It gives tax breaks to billionaires and sticks us with the sticker shock. Medicaid is now facing its largest cuts since the program began in the 1960s. Up to 250,000 Minnesotans could lose their health insurance. Minnesota stands to lose over $1.4 billion in federal care funding in just the first 4 years. This isn't a distant threat. It is already reshaping how small businesses operate and plan. Let me be clear. You may not be a Medicare recipient or Medicaid recipient, but the cuts to these programs are absolutely going to make healthcare more expensive for everyone else, including small business owners who are simply trying to afford healthcare for themselves and their employees. Many small business owners can't afford to offer employee-sponsored insurance, and Medicaid can fill that gap sometimes. And buying insurance on the insurance marketplace fills that gap. More than 7 million business owners and employees rely on Medicaid for affordable coverage. Nationwide, 1 in 5 small business owners, employees, and their family members are covered by Medicaid. Nearly 1 in 4 small business owners have children covered by Medicaid or CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program. When that coverage disappears, small business owners face difficult choices. We're going to talk about one of those today. Sonia is a small business owner in Minnesota and is now looking at paying more than double what it costs just to cover herself, her husband, and their daughter. We're going to drop a link to her story in the chat so you can read it for yourself. She's now considering merging with another business just to access group insurance rates, just to access group insurance rates, not for growth, but for her family's survival. We're seeing this over and over again. Small family run businesses, immigrant owned grocery stores, the family diner in greater Minnesota, and the locally operated bike shop in the Twin Cities forced to make a choice: become absorbed by a bigger nationally run corporation or cut healthcare benefits for their employees. It's an impossible choice. Sonia's reaction to the cuts was, quote, we can find money for tax cuts for billionaires, but we can't insure people medically in this country. It's unconscionable, unquote. This was already happening because of the Republican choices. Now, cuts specifically targeted at Minnesota and further federal cuts to fund the war in Iran have made life harder for ordinary Minnesotans, family-run businesses, and their employees. Allina Health and the Mayo Clinic have already announced clinic closures across Minnesota. Allina cited, quote, expected impacts of funding cuts for critical healthcare programs like Medicaid, unquote, as part of the reason. Rural hospitals are raising alarm bells every single day that they're in danger of not meeting their payroll. When local clinics close, small businesses lose access to nearby care for their employees, and Minnesota communities lose workers entirely. The harm is specific. The cuts target low-income Minnesotans, burying them in additional paperwork and more frequently eligibility checks along the way. Rural communities are especially at risk. When hospitals lose Medicaid patients, they lose the ability to stay open, period. And when they close, the whole community loses access to that care. Small businesses in greater Minnesota can't recruit or retain workers if the nearest hospital is an hour away. It's that simple. And now we're all left to fill in the gaps Trump and Republicans have created because of their choices. So our action today is pretty clear. People are losing their health care, and today we explained why it's happening. Look, when this bill first passed, we spent days on the DFL Daily, literally days. We talked to healthcare experts, we talked to doctors and nurses, we talked to legislators in the state legislature, we talked to elected officials, we talked to professionals, all trying to articulate exactly how devastating the big, beautiful betrayal of a bill would be for Minnesota. We came back to it today because as we reflected on why costs are rising, specifically healthcare costs, this is the number one driver, and this is what we continue to hear. Earlier this week, we heard from Gary Werdish, the president of the Farmers Union, talking about how the big, beautiful betrayal and healthcare cuts would hurt farmers. And we wanted to bring it full circle here on Thursday to make sure that you understand it's not just farmers that Gary is talking about, it's all of us. It's going to impact all of us. And so today we explained why it's happening, who did this to us, and how regular people are carrying the struggle Republicans chose for them. So when you hear people name the harm, respond by sharing the why, the who, and the how. And I encourage you to go and share Sonia's story on your own social media platform. These are real life decisions Minnesota business leaders are being forced to make. Again, it's not about expanding her business. She's not thinking about merging with another company to create greater benefit to her family other than just simply surviving and being able to afford healthcare. So that's your action today. Let's talk about the why behind the rising healthcare costs and the fact that Democrats are doing everything we can to fight back and to repair the cuts made in the big, beautiful betrayal of a bill. That's your action for today. And we hope to see you on June 5th at the Humphrey Mondale dinner as well. Thanks everybody for this week. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:45. We have 208 days until the November 3rd midterm election. Thanks for all that you're doing to help build the largest electoral defeat of a sitting president in the history of Minnesota midterms. Let's go win this thing.